What's up, ladies and gentlemen? We got a huge week for the stock market this week. Plenty of excuses for it to move. So we're going to rock and roll. We're going to talk about it. We are going to break down the stock market's expected moves. We're going to go over the dollar, the Russell, the NASDAQ, the S&P. And then we'll do some of the top tickers, the tech tickers. Quite a few things I do think are overbought, but does that actually mean it's time to sell? So that's what we're going to go over. If you see me occasionally peeking over like that, I'm live on the TikTok. I'm gonna start doing that while we go live on here. Of course, it'll be just a vertical screen right there. Anyway, shout out to everybody that's on that. Trying some new things. Told you guys I want to start upping the content. I want to do a video every day. That was supposed to be every day in July, but everything sucked. Anyway, it's gonna be every day starting now. Let's kick it off with the dollar. A little bit of a green open. Right now, as far as the open goes, not too worried about it. We have a lot of conversations that are probably going to move the dollar this week. So I am short this. Now, I'm short the U.S. dollar, Japanese yen right here. Now, I did tag out. So I was short a bit back here. I did tag out. I decided to get back in up here. The position right now actually should be up a little bit because it was right here at break even. So with this open, I'm up a little bit. Just this being so problematic as far as countries go. I just can't stand to not be short this right now. I'm going to harp on this a lot. This will be the only forex currency that I'll be rocking for a while. So I will be short this. I will remain short, albeit in and out. Once we get this smooth trend down, I will only be in it. I will add on, and add on. This is something I'm not kidding when I say I want to make $1 million. But to make $1 million on it, I would need it to come down to this 110 area. So shout out to the TikTok crew. Tag out about 15 times on the way. No. So when we are on a clear trend down, absolutely not. As far as the daily and things go like that, yeah, I'm gonna play that game for a little bit. But once we put in that lower high and do put that, I will not move my stop above a lower high. I don't want anything sideways tagging me out. So as it creates lower highs, I'll probably move my stop up, and each lower high probably add on each time, giving it plenty of room. I will be trailing this on the weekly or monthly time frame. I'm not used to doing the TikTok thing as well. I have a privacy screen. You guys know how hard that is to read a TikTok thing? Anyway, TikTok, if you can hear me, we are live on YouTube. I will definitely see your questions a lot easier on the YouTube chat. So stubborn on the dollar. Listen, let me just show you why. This does not mean it needs to come down. We could just be making history. It doesn't actually mean anything. But the last time we were at this level was 1990. Okay? The reason why I had to learn how to talk was to talk this thing down. It was a problematic. I was like, listen, guys, I was just born. Sorry it took me a while to put words out, but you need to chill out. So I'm stepping in again. Not a big fan, not a big yen fan, but why so bearish? Is it all-time lows? Yes, all-time lows, and I think they're going to start raising their rates. They haven't yet. They've just kind of talked about it. As Japan raises rates, it will push their currency up, which will drop this down. As we lower our rates, that will be short the dollar as well, which will also bring this down. So it's just kind of the perfect storm, the double whammy of hitting it from both ends. Which is why I want to really be short this or waste all my time in forex doing this. They've been at zero for 30 years. They have, and I think it's about time we start working our way out of that. Man, I didn't realize a lot of people joining on TikTok. Anyway, hit the heart button. You know, do the things. Let me update it for you so you can see what we're doing. All right. Love to take out a mortgage there. All right. Bitcoin. You know, I was going to make a post about this on Facebook because it really is. It's funny, man. When Bitcoin's got a green day, you're going to know about it because there's all the crypto nerds that are going to tell you all about it. But, man, they are just so quiet when there's a red day. So Bitcoin had this sideways action, right? It just went sideways. We finally got the breakout down. It is headed south. Again, I will buy at this brighter yellow zone. That's why it is a brighter yellow. That is just where I plan on adding some. Before anybody gets all butthurt, because they usually show up in the comments shortly after that, I own Bitcoin. Something I buy every week. It's not something I trade. It is just I buy it and then I add on at specific spots, and that will be my next add-on spot. That's all. So if you guys are new here, I buy the same amount every week, but I have that same amount also going into my savings account. And now this is how I dollar cost average, because I will take that, and when it gets to these levels, then I dump the savings in, and that's what brings my average way down. It's how I'm just always up. What I worry about when people just dollar cost average, eventually they just get so much it doesn't really move, but that's also how you get your average really high on something that's trending up, because you just keep averaging up, and then it sells off, and nothing else happens when it comes down. TikTok, it's telling me to swipe this thing. Swipe left to close. Sorry, it's telling me everybody that's joined. TikTok, it's still Don Francho. It's Don Francho on everything. I try to make it easy for everybody. But let's do this. I want more red. I need to get in. Yeah, I fully welcome this. I'm not trying to poke fun at the Bears, but I did get into a little debate with someone on Facebook. I said, I'm going to buy more at 50, and he laughed at me up here, and I was like, all right, so I'm just waiting for it to get that 50 mark, and I'm going to go back and be like, remember that one time? Now shut up and listen. Listen with your ears and stop flapping your gums. I've been doing this for a while. Just kidding. I don't actually talk like that to people. I could say it here because at least maybe now you guys would get the context that I'm just joking. All right, as far as the S&P, okay, so it's pushing up sideways, pushing up. It just continues to do that. So while I do think we're overbought, and I say this time and time again, when stocks push up like this, they pull over or they pull back. And so far, that's all the S&P has done. So to continue shorting this as it pushes up, it's kind of silly. It is like literally assuming the car you just took off the lot, brand new with 2 miles on there, it's like assuming that car is going to crash or break down. So I get it. It is overbought. I've even taken some put trades if you're in my group the past couple weeks. What I do think is we got a little high, got a little ambitious, but last week was a holiday week, not really a lot of bank participation, and a lot of times, man, they come back on Monday and say, hey, that's adorable. The markets belong here, and they drop it down. So anybody that swung that over the weekend, you're kind of on that ride. We'll see some. Typically Mondays after that, we get the shake-up, or the put everything back where it goes, and then we continue on with the trading. But as far as news goes, tomorrow we have Powell speaking. Tuesday we have Powell speaking. Sorry, Tuesday. Oh, we have nothing tomorrow. Monday's your only day, so buckle up. Get ready. Get your pieces on the board. Tuesday, Powell speaking. Wednesday, Powell speaking. Thursday, we have CPI. Friday, PPI. Now, if you've been following me for a while, these are just excuses for the market to move. That's kind of all it is. I'll stick to the charts. I don't care or wonder what he's going to say in all of these. I care more about the reaction. I'll let all the other YouTubers come out with all the reasons why it's bullish or bearish, or what color tie he was wearing, or did he sneeze to the left or to the right. Someone will decode that. I care more about where the money's going. So that's just kind of where I'll make my opinion. But for now, I do think I actually expect us to pull back this week. I do have the expected moves put up there, so if you guys do have my charts, these are already up to date. Everything's good. I can bring it up really quick. If you're in my group, this is how you know I'm at my desk on the weekend. When I post these, not 5 minutes before the stream. All right, IWM 374, QQQ 837, SPY 659. Tesla 1719. Actually, quite a few of these tech tickers have quite a bit more of the expected move. Meta 1971, Microsoft 912, Nvidia 633, Amazon 575, Apple 583, Google 464, Ford 39 cents, Palantir 142, Intel 119, and finally AMD 863. If you guys, I think my head's blocking. There we go. If you're curious why Ford is in there and I have all these other tech tickers, Ford is just an amazing stock for a lot of people to learn on as far as barrier to entry. The stocks are liquid, so if you're looking to start the wheel, sell options, it's just not. It's hard to actually mess that up. So it's something I had for like a decade. I literally just recently got rid of it because I'm just all in on AI. But anyway, Meta did go nuts on Friday. Tesla as well. Just really driving things up, and the options market is certainly pricing this in. And for those of you guys that may be new on TikTok or just new to watching this again is where market makers are pricing things in. So when I say Tesla has a $17.09 move, that's up or down. Could be sideways, could go up 17, could go up 17, then all the way back down 17. It's just kind of that range of where they have everything accounted for. So when GameStop blew up, when you get those short squeezes, what really makes those violent is when we get outside these moves, and market makers need to step in. Again, I've said this 1,000 times. I do have a playlist coming out of just popular questions. There's already a couple videos in there. This will be one of the next ones. But for now, right now, it's you and the market movers, institutions, banks. They're not out to get you. They're just out to make money. Sorry, you're not important. They don't care if you're alive. They just want money. That's all. Now, when all of a sudden we step out of the sandbox, now it's in the market, you, the market movers, and the market makers. And things can get violent. So a lot of times they'll rein it back in and get it under that 17 mark. If we're talking about Tesla, or sometimes we go for that 2 spot, which and then would, I guess, jump that up to $34. So anyway, jump back into the NASDAQ. Again, a little bit up. Man, it would be sweet if we could just pull this thing back. Or a 5 spot. Yeah, Tesla is the one that Tesla used to be like a normal 3 or 4. Then GameStop came out, and that really did grab them by the balls when it went, 20 standard deviations? You had like better luck at getting struck by lightning twice in the same day, but in 2 different states. You know, it was something astronomical. It was ridiculous. Blue right now, speed bump zones. We're kind of just watching the price action here. Typically, that's the hourly chart that I would see that in. Yellow, 4-hour daily zones. So right now, because we're at all-time highs, this is just kind of what we do when we're in a bullish market and it's all-time highs every other day. You can guess, you can talk to the Fibonacci people, you can ask Elliott Wave and all of his cousins and friends. Someone will probably guess and throw darts as to where they think the top will be. We really don't know until the sellers do show up. So until the price action shows it and maybe supports it and shows it off at a couple of times, we're kind of just marking things as we go. I've gone over this in a few videos. You know, I trade from my phone. So when I'm at the desk, when I have just the real estate of all my monitors, I charted out, these are my notes. So I just kind of know we're heading to all-time highs. Pulling back to here would be, I think, a pretty good dip buy. Pulling all the way back down to this level. This would be a... let's modify this, actually. We're going to grab that. So this right here would be a much better dip buy. That I'm confidently buying. This, you know, like, so if I'm buying the NASDAQ contracts, I'm probably buying 1 right here. This I'm probably buying 2 or 3. Now, for anybody watching on TikTok or on YouTube, I don't do the fake accounts. I have real money. So, no, I'm not doing 20 contracts, and I don't have the fake one that copies it to 20 more other accounts. That's cool, but I trade with my own money, and you don't need 20 contracts. Well, I guess you could. That's a lot of risk. But anyway, I had somebody say that, like, you're only trading 1 or 2 contracts. Yes, and I only make a few $1,000s. But if that's maybe not your speed, hey, amp that thing up. Let me know how it works out. I can't wait to hear about it. I think you should send it with real money first. And then when you don't figure it out, maybe try a paper account. Get back to those leave that keyboard alone situation. Let's see. So the Q's pulling back to that yellow zone would probably put it below the expected move. This is probably more the blue zone right here. So what I would, again, just to map that out, if we get outside this expected move, again, so we got the Qs right here, 837, so that's this range right here. We get outside this, I'm thinking we hit that zone, and then they rein it back in. Market makers get back to work, the algos turn on, we rein that thing right back in. So I bought the dip, reined it back in, stop in the green, and it sets you up pretty nicely for a decent trade, because if it continues up, you just make more money. Armin says, thoughts on QQQ? Those are my thoughts. Did I answer everything? Lisa says, I don't see any yellow zone. It's probably because you weren't paying attention to the last 5 minutes. Here's the yellow zone that I was talking about. This is the NASDAQ futures. Now, this is the contracts for difference. If you're not paying for data, you'll still see the candle motion, and that's what I worry more about, because these candles show you the price action. They show you where the buyers are, where the sellers are. That's all I care about. This comes first, then I'll worry about the price later. But this drives the order flow. The QQQ and SPY, all those are just ETFs. So pulling it back down to here, I don't zone these out because that's silly. I know people do, and then they like to talk about zones and stuff on SPY, but again, it's an ETF. It's like reading the Harry Potter books, but only reading the odd or even pages. Sure, you'll know the story. Probably quite a few details are going to get left out. I like to know all the details. I like to know everything. I tried to pay my electric bill with a paper account money. It was a no-go. That's unfortunate. Yeah, every year I try to call and get a Black Friday special on my bills. They laugh at that. I sometimes tell them I haven't sold my stock yet, but don't worry, it's going to go up eventually. Can I pay you then? They always hang up on me. I don't like it. Not a fan. Now, the Russell for now looks like a buy. Now, like we talked about in the last video with NVIDIA, it's horizontal until not. So the buyers have shown up at this yellow zone so far 1, 2, 3, 4, hopefully 5 separate times. We're hoping that continues. If we even get down here to the bottom of this zone, I would start to be nervous. So right now, it's not worth me buying right now. I'm not too amped about this. If we were doing the stream tomorrow morning, right? So I live in the real people time. It's Central Standard Time. You know, if it's 8:30 in the morning, markets just open up, I would go long. I would go long with a couple contracts, probably put my stop below this green wick. That'd be it. If we were down here at the type 2, this is the bottom of that zone, I would go ahead and take that. But I need volume in. I need people here. I need everybody trading. Right now, trying to grab this overnight. I might just put my stop down here, and it might just take longer to tag out. So structure-wise, timing, just not the best on this one. I think the price level, decent spot. But again, it's the timing of it being Sunday. Otherwise, still does look like a buy for now. That's getting to the bottom of that zone is gonna put it right there at the type 2. Which for anybody on the TikTok, let me map that out for you guys so it's simple. All the videos should be on Don Fran Show or Don Fran Trading on YouTube. But as the stock comes in and it bounces, because well, I'm better at this than you are. I'm just kidding, guys. I'm 2 monsters in for the day, so we're doing good. This right here is what I would call buying at a type 1. This right here would be the type 2. And then a type 3 is you're buying it on the way out. This is where people think it's safe because it's already bounced. Typically, your fills are a little bit higher because it's leaving the zone. So your type 3 is typically a little bit higher. I don't, personally, you'll never see me talk about these a lot because a lot of times in the beginning, I would do that. Here's that. I would buy here. Or maybe I'd wait till it's safe and I'd buy here because I was scared. And then it would just do that. You know, and then like I'm already just screwed because the second I buy, it's instant red. Instant red, just like the instant red over here. But here I bought it knowing it's going to go red, and I'm going to add on right here. This is like, I'm going to buy it. We're clean. We're safe. We're doing good. I'm feeling good. I know these markets, and then it's instantly red, and it just pisses me off. And when I lose a trade like that, and anybody does, it has the potential to ruin the next 5 trades, and I'm not for that. So before I ever click the buy button, I know how many I'm going to buy here. I know if I will or will not add on right here. Now, if I were to take the type 1 and type 2, my average is probably right here, but more than likely right here. Because I might buy 10 shares at the type 1 and 90 shares down here at the type 2. If you guys understand risk management and how I do it, that should make sense as to why. But by the time it pops up, my stop is in the green. My risk is off the table. I'm already making money just right here. So if it does that and pulls back and rejects, Well, it's a green trade. The only thing I get to do again is say, should I take that trade again at the next type 2? Is it horizontal, or are we fading? Are we coming back down? So if you guys do hear me talk about it, that is your quick lesson as far as that goes. Probably one of my better drawings. Usually I draw that it looks a little suspicious. No, I'm not gonna lie. Cody says, let's see a correction on everything. Fun fact, Cody, and so Cody's one of my mods. Actually, there's no questions in here. I was having a conversation with some people today, and they want to learn stocks, and so the first thing I told them was how to sell options. Basic wheel stuff. Hey, if you own these shares, 2 standard deviations, sell it. We're talking 15 deltas. Let it go. Collect your money. And particularly, it was on Tesla, which was a $200 contract. And they were still so interested in day trading. And I'm trying to tell them, and I was just thinking, now they did sign up, they're in the group now, but I was just thinking in general, how much power someone like that has just from knowing that. Imagine instead of having a savings account and skipping Starbucks, like Dave Ramsey says, like you just don't do that route, but you put your money in the S&P or something a good ticker that you really like, and then you sell options contracts against it. You are basically set your retirement. Like you could retire off that. That could replace your income. It could double your income. Granted, you might have to snowball for a little bit, but Cody, how awesome is now Cody has been in the group, and he started off selling the pictures of the monkeys, so I do like to shout him out because he went from that to absolutely killing it, and now it's just income every week. Selling options is a money glitch they don't tell you about. He says that again. Wow, that again. Yeah, the selling monkeys. What were those called? NFTs. You're never gonna live that one down. But yeah, I was just thinking today, as I'm explaining to these people that, these guys, just how nonchalantly I was probably just going over this, and it's good, and how much I wish everybody knew this stuff. Because then you can be stupid with somebody. You can be a little more lenient with your money. You can be a little more confident because you know you're going to make some. All right, Tesla, absolutely sending it. Now, there will be a video clip coming out, so if you guys think I sound cocky now, just wait for this next video clip. But in all fairness, what did I tell you guys down here? From here, here, and here, at this lower level, it was below 160. I remember it was 160 when I came on and told everybody, this is like buying Meta at 90. I told everybody, first of all, I told everybody to buy Meta at 90, and nobody listened. Well, not everybody listened. Here's Meta. I told you to buy it at 90. All in, go hard. It's my number one position. Meta now, 539. All right, big deal. Only 500%. Chump money, right? Same thing I told you guys about Tesla. Tesla at this level is like buying Meta at 90. And here we go. Full sin. Don absolutely nailed the Tesla long call. Yeah, I noticed some other YouTubers, they tried. They even did it later, and even they're fine. But anyway, if you saw the growth count, I did sell the Tesla shares. I want to try to grab it. If this could pull back, if we could get an absolute meltdown, break this thing down, which is a meltdown right now at this point would be 2 standard deviations, dropping that thing to 230. I would buy back in. If it breaks 230, I'd probably hang out. I want to see, are we going to come all the way down? There's just not a lot in the way right here because the way we went up, the way we came down previously, there's actually we'll call it a speed bump zone. An area of attention I would consider checking out. It's going to be right here in the middle. I'll make that, we're going to make that white for now. Just let's just hang out. Let's see if it were to pull back. That's gonna be the 215-ish mark. I'm probably gonna grab quite a bit more. There is a spot where there's a pullback, and then there's an absolute. This isn't holding. We're melting all the way back down. So you don't want to break too many levels. And I know my charts might look a little crazy. But if I delete these bottom zones, just know market makers see that, and then they start racing for the next zone that doesn't exist. But that being said, I did not sell it in my investment account. Sold it in the growth account, which everyone can follow. You guys all got the alerts. I do have to say sorry about the alerts. Now, on Patreon, it posted just fine. So I sold my Tesla shares, and then I had sold a call against GameStop shares. If you guys haven't been following that, it's not part of any movement. bought 100 shares of GameStop, and we've collected $80 every week for over a month now. So I did that again, but when I copied and pasted it and into the Discord group, it actually pasted Tesla twice. So sorry about that for anybody that did that or caught that. If you guys ever see me post something twice, maybe ask what's up with that. I did not catch it until later when someone said, are we going to do that with GameStop again? But anyway, I did sell the shares because I just want to get cute with it. I want to skip a couple red candles and get back in. The more red candles I get to skip, it's just more free money in my pocket. Steve says the 198 area looks great. I think it does. If it could pull all the way back down to there, I think we'll struggle with above 200. If it breaks 200, I'm on board because it'll probably get to this yellow zone because people are going to think, oh, it's a psychological level. Is it going to hold? And then it's going to get 199, and all of a sudden there will be headlines of it broke 200. And that will probably, at the time of recording this or streaming this, that will probably be extreme fear and time to get more. Can we get an update on the chart link soon? I will do it right after this stream, as a matter of fact. Do me a huge solid, guys. Hit the heart or the thumbs up, whichever platform you're on. Do me a solid. Hit that and hit the share button. Cody, that is a video that's coming out later. So if you guys are watching, if you're on TikTok, this will be on YouTube. There's a rumor talking about Elon hiring Uber CEO Travis to run the robo-taxis. It's something I want to break down a little bit more. I think that's good and bad news. So now I gotta be honest, guys. My research is the Netflix show that came out, and I like his aggressiveness. He's kind of the get it done no matter what it takes kind of guy. That's my type. But as far as Tesla goes, you go play in that game with Tesla where you fudge a few rules. You just take the gray area of anything. That's going to be a double-edged blade. So if he is running that, I do like that. But also I wonder how much there's already a microscope on Tesla and anything Elon does. Dang. Kalanick, whatever. He says he's mean. No way. We need someone nice like Steve Jobs. Nah, nice doesn't get the job done. Nice is, if you want nice, that your therapist should be nice. You want the CEO that can just get stuff done. So, and that really was this guy. He's like, I'm gonna get it done. Period. No stop. No stop me. No chance. So I would be all about that. So that will be a video. I want to do just a little bit more research. But anyway, that's pure speculation because Elon actually started following him on X a couple weeks ago, and then all of a sudden, it goes. Jobs was a driver. Steve Jobs was a driver. We're not going to get another Steve Jobs. It's going to be hard to replace him anyway. All right, Meta absolutely went for it. Remember that one time I told you guys Meta's my #1 position, and it should be yours too. Also, not financial advice. Just if you want your numbers to match mine, you probably agree with more of my plays. I wish Mike was watching right now because Meta's not his #1 position. Isn't that awkward? Anyway, Meta, all-time highs. Yet again, absolutely sending it. I don't know if there was any news or whatever broke that out. Don't see anything. Either way, if anyone is here that is new, first of all, you have to hit the thumbs up or your next 7 trades will probably be red. I don't make the rules. That's just the statistics. You'll probably lose a lot more money by not liking this and sharing it. But Meta, so I'm all in AI, right? So I sold my dividend portfolio, sold it all. I am all in AI tickers, and Meta is my #1. It's been my #1 for a while. When it went to 90, that hurt because it was in my investment account. Yeah, I did sell calls against it. Don't get me wrong. That's like a literal, rifle wound, and I'm just trying to cover it up with a Band-Aid, not even a big one. I am hemorrhaging at this point. I did add on. We went nuts, and obviously that's paid out very well. But as far as AI play goes, I still think Meta might be. Think of the data Meta can train it on. You guys, they say only boomers use Facebook, and only stupid people probably believe that. Sorry if I just offended most of my audience. But just think of the data Meta has, because what do people do on Meta? They lie. They show off. They show off their emotions, and it's super easy to depict and read and know everything. So Google might have a lot of like book smart. Meta's going to be like the street smart. So when it comes to making an AI that the people like, there that it's more fitting, I think Meta has way more data than Google does. I don't care if you disagree with that. I just don't care. That's why it's my number one position. If I had to pick right now, I think their AI is going to be one of the tops. But again, if you guys are new here, as far as the whole artificial intelligence, I don't know if anyone knows who's going to win. If money could buy it, it would already exist. I think some nerd is going to be just twitching around in the code. He's going to switch a colon to a semicolon. Something dumb's going to happen, and then the computer's going to talk back saying you're pressing the keys too hard or something. He's going to shock that guy just as much as he shocks the rest of the world. And that's kind of why I just casted an AI net, and I'm in all of them, but Meta, number one. Meta going nuts. As far as selling calls, let me see if I can open this up. I'll probably end up selling the 580s. And hang on, Linux is asking about QQQ, IWM. Thoughts on Eli Lilly or Microsoft? Sorry, that's the TikTok crowd. Guys, this isn't a bait and switch or anything. I'm on YouTube, and I will see that a lot faster. QQQ and IWM I specifically went over in the beginning, but we will go over Eli Lilly and Microsoft. First of all, TikTok's killing it. We got 1,500 likes over there. We got 21 likes on YouTube. Guys, you're slacking. Absolutely slacking. How I Met My Wife was on Facebook. Yeah, Facebook knows more about you than anything. Facebook could literally, what they need to do is invade your personal privacy and tell you who your actual soulmate is. There would be so many divorces, I think, if Meta just came out and said, hey, this guy's actually your soulmate over here. Trust me, we know more about you than you do. There would probably be so many divorces and so many new marriages, and they'd probably last. I 100% believe that. Hey, you cry a lot like this guy. Maybe you guys can horizontal cry together. You guys are soulmates. All right, so we're $20. Yeah, I'd have to sell the 580s. I had to go 2 standard deviations. So, God, that would be $100. Meta's on an absolute tear. The deltas I'm usually selling are in the teens, which would be the 565. I'm at least selling the 570s on Meta, so it's $170. It's a lot of capital to tie up, but it's again, it's free internet money. I just like collecting that and not have to manage it. I just like clicking my thumbs one time, and then at the end of the week, I have thousands more dollars. It's really not a bad gig. I can promise you guys. Let's check out Microsoft really quick, so we're going to break that one down next. $9 expected move. We're at 467. 475s. Yeah, this is a much cheaper one. You'd collect $155 on it. I'm too old to start over with the new spouse. Too much work. I've kept mine for 48 years so far. I think you're doing all right, Lori. 48 years, that's not bad. I think if Meta came out and said that, Meta would probably just come out and say that is your person, period. Or you two should meet this other couple. Not like anything weird, but these are your new hangout buddies. This is the game night couple you need to have over. Hopefully Linux is still here. Linux asked about all 3 tickers that I do regardless. TikTok Live, you can't rewind. That sucks. All right, Microsoft and Eli Lilly. Microsoft sending it. Microsoft, I probably wouldn't care until it pulled back to 450. I would have zero FOMO on that. Again, I'm not playing trend lines. I'm not buying because it's on a trend line. But I'll keep an eye on it. Again, because going onto my phone tomorrow, I will see this. That will be the real estate of my phone. So I'll know, hey, I got a trend line here. I know we're headed up. So pulling back down to just the 459, the 460 area would be 1 standard deviation down. And if we hit that Monday, fireworks are just beginning. 2 standard deviations, I would consider selling puts. And, you know, I can show you the options chain right now. Selling the 450 puts for the 445s, probably not going to be worth much. But if that pulls down to 460, everything ramps up. So all of a sudden, it's not 5 deltas, it's 20, and it's worth a lot more. So at that point, that's when I would consider selling puts. Right now, as far as calls go, I guess I'd be comfortable selling the 475s on this one. Eli Lilly. Let me try that again. What an absolute beast. So I do want to just mark this out really quick. All right, so we're trending up, and a lot of people think that's because you're blowing up. There's a lot of buyers. In fact, that actually just means there's no sellers. Sellers show up right here. Now, they show up with this wick. Got the green candle in there, red candle. Tried to get above it. Just kidding. Tried one more time. Gapped that thing down, sold off. Tried for dear life because someone didn't get the memo that we're still buying. Brought it right back up, sold off. So we're really hanging out. The opposing force is definitely right there. I want to say that is all-time highs for them. I'm sure I'm going to offend somebody on TikTok because I call it the really stupid indicator, but we will check the RSI. Probably really, yeah, we're overbought on the weekly. One more green week. If the RSI got to it, can we, hang on a second. Can I do that right there? All right, so if the RSI hits this right here on the weekly time frame, that alert will go off. That's about the only time I've ever used it. As much as I make fun of the RSI, I did that one time here on YouTube. People made fun of me, and then it went off. I went short Amazon, made a bunch of money. Anyway, that's what I'll do. If the RSI does hit this on the weekly, I probably would take an active short position. For now, I don't know. That looks more like a... It looks more, oh, you know what? Actually, let's bring the RSI back up. See how this went sideways, and this is cooling off. Same thing with your EMA. So you hear me talk about cooling off indicators. That's what happens right here. You get overbought, nothing happens. It goes sideways. Your RSI is not so overbought. Your EMAs go from a stretched out slinky to just right underneath it, and then people talk about an EMA bounce. But like we said in the beginning, when stocks push up, they pull over or they pull back. This one does look like it might just be pulling over. I wouldn't short this right now. Unless you had a problem with money. But you can give me money. You can just give me money. I'll give you a cool story. I just found out someone fell for one of the fake me's that messaged them, and they sent them $5,000. Like, oh, that sucks. There's nothing I can do. But if you ever want to give me $5,000, just for the sake of it, I'd come up with a pretty cool story. A whole account at a crap coin. It was looking promising. And then it disappeared. As far as Eli Lilly goes, I know a lot of people have this for a dividend ticker. If I was looking to load this up on a dividend, as far as a dividend goes, I would have to wait for the 800 mark to come down here if I wanted to buy any more. I'd be patient with that. 2,000 likes on TikTok. Where are you guys at on YouTube? We have 100 times more on TikTok. Absolutely. I'm going to make decisions here. I'm going to start going live on the TikTok. I'm sure that's when it'll get banned in the United States. Nvidia, there was so pretty in-depth, a little bit more as far as my plan and overall thoughts on Nvidia came out on Don Fran's show. So right now, if you're watching, you're on Don Fran Trading. TikTok is Don Fran Show. YouTube, Don Fran Show. I did a whole Nvidia video talking about expected moves, how I'm trading it, how I'm watching it, explaining these red lines. Again, these white lines are the expected move. I would be long at 120. If you're going to go short, it'd be 130. But then again, the breaking above is going to be the breakout plays on that. Amazon. Now, Amazon does look weaker. Of all the tech plays, it just looks weaker. We're barely trucking along, barely hanging in there. So of these, this is the one that probably has more to prove than anything else. Honestly, if it breaks, gosh, if it even breaks 198, I bet we are hopping down. I probably really wouldn't worry about a dip buy until 190. Someone's going to fry me for that. You could probably have an alert at 194, but the I'm going to buy it zone would be 190. Don needs to twerk. Oh no, I got 2,000 likes on TikTok. There's no need to twerk. I don't dance or sing. Quite literally ever. If there was ever a scenario where that would save your life, listen, I do great at eulogies. I'll put flowers on your tombstone all the time, and that's just how it's going to be. Apple. Now, I do have to buy a couple more iPads, so that's obviously pretty bullish. If you guys don't believe me that I move markets, I can show you guys right here when I announced I was going to quit Monsters. Okay, this is Monster Energy. Now, I did quit before. They snuck up on me, and I quit again. So, listen. Sorry. But I got to buy a couple iPads. So I assume Apple will be $300-$400, maybe by Wednesday. On that note, Apple actually does kind of suck. I don't really trade it. This is, as far as Apple's movement goes, this is out of the norm. Apple's not really the biggest movers. The premiums aren't that much. There's much, in my opinion, there's if you just want a few dollars per share, you want some premium just to tie up that much capital, I think there's better tickers out there. But as far as Apple goes, I would wait for a pullback to buy it. It would have to pull back to at least here. Yeah, 215 mark. That's hang on, we're gonna widen that out just a tad. That's where I would buy more. This is a much better play just to own the shares and maybe sell calls against it, and maybe once every 7 years, it might get called away. But right now, I do think Apple's up there. Even the indicators say it's up there, so you know retail is looking to sell, or not. They kind of have a cult following. But guys, I do have to get to my mentorship group. Sunday nights we do YouTube, and then we jump into the private streams, which is Zoom. So I better see cameras, beautiful faces. Let's see it. YouTube. You will see me on all channels this week, every day. But I'll be live again Tuesday for sure. So we'll see what Powell has to say. But I'm gonna wrap it up here. Do me a huge solid, YouTube. Try to keep up with TikTok. TikTok we're right at 2,000 likes. Somebody sent me a rose. I don't know if is that good. Hang on. He sent me a rose. He's a sweet guy. He's asking for Palantir. We can do that real quick. Palantir, absolutely sending it. I would get on my phone and see where it's at on Robinhood right now, but it's on the TikTok. Don is in rehab on Monster. I really could check myself in for that. Not to make light of anybody that's going through that. I did not realize I had an actual addiction until I tried to quit Monster. And when I mean actual addiction, I mean I would get excited knowing that, it's like 8 p.m. I would get excited knowing that I'm going to wake up and drink a Monster first thing in the morning. Just that thought would get me excited. As far as Palantir goes, I would wait for a red day, and I would consider selling the 25 puts. We did that in the growth count last week. Yeah, we sold 25 puts. Everyone thought we were going to own it, but then it went right back above. It was a 100% play. That's just how it happens. I'm a very big fan of Palantir. Actually, on Palantir in the growth count, we did buy. I'm glad. Who called it out? He says, there's a TikTok question. Do I sell option spreads? I do. When things push up and we're close to 2. So really quick, S&P pushes up. We're at 1.5 standard deviations. I will sell 2 standard deviations out, and I sell $2 spreads on that quite a bit. Rigo. I'm messing that thing up. Anyway, I'm glad you brought this up. Shout out to him and the roses. I don't know what that means, but man, I would take a selfie with him. I would smell him. Sure, I'm getting weird. So I wanted to have some exposure to the growth count. I sold Palantir. Now, I had sold puts. We've made plenty of money on Palantir. We've actually made a lot of money on Palantir. But we're going to use that capital for Tesla. When Tesla pulls back, I do think Tesla's going to pull back, but I am gung-ho when it comes to Tesla. I mean, we're buying a lot of it. That's what's coming up next. You guys are going to see those alerts coming out. But I just wanted to have some exposure to Palantir, so I did buy the 28 strike call for November. And pulling that up, I forget what alerted me to this. Someone was talking about just the volume in it. November 15th, it's the only monthlies that are in there. 28 strike calls. Open interest, 6,000. So there's actually more at the 30. That makes more sense. But anyway, I paid $360 for it, so it might be up $10. Now that's going to cover an S&P announcement if there is one, but it was $360 on something I do think is going to grow between now and then. So it was kind of a cheap play, and we still have that. As far as the deltas go, we're at 56. So essentially, I'm controlling 56 shares. Again, why I picked the at the money play. This will absolutely blow up if they do get an S&P announcement. Again, it just checks the boxes. It doesn't mean anything, but each quarter they will make that decision. Now, it checked those boxes a while back, and it's missed that every time. So maybe one day we'll get lucky, and it'll shoot up. That'll be an absolute home run if that happens. Right now, I just kind of expect it to keep grinding its way up, and we'll keep that options contract. I have this in my main account as well. And I did sell, I want to say, some 30s against it. I only collected like... it must have been 29.50s. I collected $12. I thought about doing that in the growth account just to collect some money against it, kind of like a poor man's covered call. I don't know if I do that in the growth account. But if you see that alert, that's what I'm talking about. You don't have to have 100 shares. You just have to have some form of collateral. So instead of locking up almost $3,000, we locked up 300, and then we'll sell calls against it. Do I think Palantir will keep going up this week? Probably not. No. I do think it pulls back. Obviously, take that with a grain of salt because it's absolutely tearing it up. It's going for it. Now, if it does hit this 28, 29 area, if you're hesitant at all, that would be where my sell button is. I don't know if I would go short. I don't know if I wouldn't outright short it. Maybe if I was going to grab puts, I'm not. But if I was, that would be the area. Pushing up to that 29 area is where I would. The short play I would take would be, I'd probably get a little aggressive on the selling calls for this week. That'd be it on that one. TikTok, you have to help me out. What does the rose mean? He's my #1 gifter badge. QCOM if I have time. I do, and you can thank Garcia for that, because when people donate or do that, I feel like I have to stay on longer. I can be bribed, I guess. QCOM. Now, if you were to Google that, that is a picture-perfect bear flag. However, what everyone doesn't mention is bear flag or reversal. They look the same. It just depends on what echo chamber you're sitting in. I would be bullish. I think getting above that zone, I think if we rejected like that, it's not good news. The fact that we did get above that zone, the buyers are showing up. If there's any kind of follow through on this, we're good. If the markets are red and this hangs out, again, that would also be good news for me. I would still be long. Honestly, it would have to break 190. What a stupid stop. No. I would say 199.85, but can you imagine stopping out on that? 198.85. If it breaks that, I'd have to be out. If you're in at 200, then I would put my stop at 201.35. If that stop hits, that would just be my alert. It broke that zone. You locked in a couple bucks. That trade's done, but the situation isn't done. Use that as your alert to say, hey, should I get back in? Does it look like it might be wicking out? You might get back in at 202, whatever. You also don't still own it when it's just melting all the way down on one of these red candles. Personally, I would put my stop in the green. That way I just don't lose any money. And then, go from there. Rodrigo says, it's a gift. I don't know how to access the gifts, but I appreciate the gifts a lot. I'll have to be on TikTok a lot more now. Okay, last but not least, we will do Hood, and I do have to get to the mentorship group. For everybody on TikTok, I've been doing this for 11 years. Sadly, GameStop was not my first trade. Or, no, maybe not sadly. Maybe it's a good thing. Ooh, Hood. Gosh. We're going to give this another zone. All right, so if Hood were to break up, I'd have to watch it there. We're going to have to keep an eye on this level as well. So it looks like the 35 zone, and it looks like 27. We'll get there. If I had shares, I would look to sell the 28s, but maybe even for next week. As far as collecting, I'm a big fan of collecting money, just collecting free internet money. The 28s don't pay anything for this week, though. Maybe that is just a little. That's a reach. $5 for 2 weeks out. Hood's only expecting a $1.34. That's why. So it's expecting $24. That's kind of where you're at. The deltas I would usually sell would be right here. I'd be selling 24.50s. I don't know if I would. I would wait. Because if we break that zone, anybody who sold the 24.50 calls is going to be in the money. What I would be nervous about right here is that lower high. So we came down. Now, right now, we're thinking high or low. But if this breaks down and you kind of break Friday's low, that will be seen as the lower high. At that point, you do have a trend down. You'll be looking for the lower low. And you'll be lucky if it stops at $20. But if we get a gap up on Monday, it might be a gap and crap for sure. But gapping up on Monday, I would be curious if this starts to break kind of up and out. So I would still very much be long Hood. Kevin says he has 10K worth of calls. Kevin, you have 2 seconds because I got to go on what strike? What's up, TikTok world? Hit the heart button. Is that what I tell you guys to do? Hit the hearts. Do the thing. I'm not an avid TikToker, but I will figure it out for you guys. But yeah, now I'm curious as to what strike he's in. 10K on Hood. Yeah, I mean, is that a Pelosi play? Because that would be, $10,000 worth of Hood at, the 11 strike. And that's, you could just get 10, 14 strike calls. Probably not for the week, though. November 15th, 30 calls. 30 strike. At least you gave it time. Man, usually when people call it options contracts, it's like, Hood's $22. I'm in the 55 strike call for this Friday. How's it looking? He's in the 30 strike for November. Ooh, close. As an option seller, you're borderline what people would be selling those contracts. A popular one for people to sell. People like to sell the 30 deltas. I don't because you mess with that a little bit more. Man, you got plenty of time and the 30 strike. Let's just map that out real quick. So November 15th, you need that. So realistically, you need that. So 30 strike right now is $1.62. So you need that at 31.62. Now you need it right here just to break even. So if it keeps its current trajectory, it'll be a 100% loss. Because that's what you will need it at just to break even. Hopefully it follows that trend. Man, I would actually consider something. If I had 10 grand in there, I just don't want to lose 10 grand. I would consider something like a poor man's covered call where, maybe I do sell the 28s or 29s next month or monthly for this month. Give it a couple weeks. I don't like to give people a lot of time to be right. That way you collect some money back as it grinds its way up. You make some free money there. And then hopefully it just sends it when it breaks out. And then you can lock in, not have to hold it all the way to the end. CPI is Wednesday. So I'll wrap it up with this. Powell talking Tuesday. Wednesday, he's talking again. He's just going to wear out the microphone this week. Thursday is CPI. And then Friday is PPI. Plenty of excuses to move the markets. So we'll have some intraday volatility that day. Honestly, I hope that's an excuse. I hope this week is just absolutely red and beat down. Make no mistake, I will be. If this was red all week, I would be buying the dip. It'd be hard not to. Just followed you. Yo, what's happening? Oh, is that your name? Anyway. What's happening, everybody? All right, I got to wrap it up here. Mentorship, we're going live right now. TikTok, you will see me guys in a little bit. Everyone else, you'll see me live again Tuesday, but hit the sub button because you're going to have content every day. I'll see you guys then.